since we are done with the pathophysiology of migraine, let's move on to the therapy. So one thing you need to understand is that our therapy will differ when we are going for an acute management and when we are going for prophylaxis. And the reason is this: we know that the trigger for the attack is the vasospasm of the meningeal vessels. Okay, and that the trigger for that can be many. Okay, it can be during stress, or during menses, or during uh, any intake of things like alcohol, caffeine. So such things may trigger the vasospasm, which will further trigger the acute attack. Okay, but since there is this vasospasm, vasoconstriction, so when we are going for a prophylactic measure, we need a vasodilator. However, when we are going for acute management, that is when the meningeal edema and vasodilation has already set in, then we all obviously don't want to give a vasodilator. Okay, so that will further aggravate the attack. So in that case, we need a vasoconstrictor. So this is just a very brief understanding of what we do. In case of mild or moderate attacks, the patient is advised to take naproxen. The patient is advised to take naproxen, an NSAID, and we also advise her to take a domperidone for the emesis. Okay, so domperidone and antiemetic, and naproxen and NSAID. In case of severe attacks, we have to go for triptans, and if triptans are contraindicated, then we have to go for ergots. So that's a very brief understanding of the acute therapy. And during prophylaxis, there are actually 3 tiers of drugs. The first tier includes propranolol, the tricyclic antidepressants, and topiramate. Okay, so it's propranolol, sorry. Yeah. So propranolol, tricyclic antidepressants like amitriptyline and nortriptyline, and topiramate. The tier 2 includes telmisartan, venlafaxine, and valproate. Venlafaxine is a SNRI, valproate is an antiepileptic, telmisartan is an aldosterone receptor blocker, which I'm sure you have learned about in your CVS portion. So, and this may be a potential viva question as well. What is an off-label use for telmisartan? Of telmisartan, and that is for prophylaxis against migraine. The third tier drugs include pizotifene, which is a 5-HT2C blocker, flunarizine, and clonidine. Okay. And just over here, I'd like to mention one point. I discussed about pizotifene, which is a 5-HT2C blocker. So it is a serotonergic antagonist. However, there is one 5-HT2C agonist which is not used in the therapy of migraine, but it is very essential therapy for weight loss. Okay, and it is a very safe therapy, and that is lorcaserin. Okay, I just mentioning this over here. So lorcaserin is a 5-HT2C agonist. Pizotifene is a 5-HT2C antagonist. Okay, so these are this is also another potential viva question. Name one drug which acts in the serotonergic system, which is used for weight loss. Okay, so this is a very potential viva question. So that's with respect to the basic understanding of pharmacotherapy of migraine. Now let's dwell further. Right, so this is a table which I've taken from Harrison. You might find it to read a bit difficult to read, but I'm just simplifying out the important things over here. So during an acute attack, we may give acetaminophen, that is paracetamol. We may give naproxen. Ergotamine is associated with least or no recurrence. Okay, among the triptans, we prefer rizatriptan and elytriptan because their time to Tmax, that is the time to peak or the Tmax, is minimum. Okay, we may also give naratriptan, sumatriptan, and zolmitriptan. But the problem with the triptans is that since they are very strong vasoconstrictor, they may precipitate angina, and so they're contraindicated in coronary artery diseases and in cerebrovascular diseases, and also they are associated with very high recurrence, and in such a case we have to go for ergotamines. Okay, now these are the oral triptans. Okay, sumatriptan and zolmitriptan may also be given as via nasal route, and sumatriptan also can be given 6 milligrams subcutaneous. Okay, other drugs which may be given are these dopamine receptor antagonists like metoclopramide, prochlorperazine, chlorpromazine, metoclopramide, and I mean these are the parenteral preparations and these are the oral preparations. Okay, and other therapies which may non-pharmacological interventions include neuromodulation, non-invasive vagus nerve stimulation, and single pulse transcranial magnetic stimulation. Okay, so these are the complete list of modalities, therapeutic modalities which we may adopt for an acute management of migraine. Okay, right, so this is an important slide in the sense that one thing is that it talks about the measures we should adopt if our treatment procedure is failing, and it also talks about the GPANs. Okay, so first what to do if our NSAID intervention has failed. So we may go for the triptans. If triptans, we go for rizatriptan and elytriptan mainly, and if they fail we may try sumatriptan, and if it fails also zolmi is there, but we go for niratriptan and fovatriptan. If they still fail or there is infrequent headache, then we may have to go for ergotamines and dihydroergotamines. Okay, if there is early nausea or difficulties taking tablets, then we have to go for the nasal spray preparations. Okay, in case of recurrence, like I said, we have to go for ergotamines. If the patient is tolerating the treatment poorly, then we may try naratriptan or amitriptan, but we may go for the non-pharmacological intervention as well. In case of early vomiting, again the triptans may be given. For menses related headache, like I said, menstrual cycle, the premenopausal and the perimenopausal period are very strong triggers for migraine. So we may have to go for ergotamine, or we may even try estrogen patches. And in case of very rapidly developing symptoms, we may have to give subcutaneous 6 milligrams sumatriptan, or we have to give intramuscular dihydroergotamine. Okay, the newer agents for acute management are the GPANs. Now they made a huge roar in the market when they first came into the picture, but soon these trials had to be stopped because of hepatotoxicity. However, currently 2 trials are in progress. One is with this urogepant and another is with this atogepant. Okay, you may find a little difficulty reading it. It is urogepant and atogepant. So their trials are still in progress. So no hepatotoxicity has yet been associated with these 2 drugs, and we hope that there are no further complications and they are launched soon, because these GPANs are very, very efficacious for acute management. Okay, and so finally, talking about the prophylactic measures, like I said, propranolol, we may also give metoprolol, amitriptyline, nortriptyline, topiramate, valproate, then pizotifen, flunarizine, which is a cerebroselective calcium channel blocker, another potential viva question. Candesartan, like telmisartan, candesartan may be also tried. Then these are the non-pharmacological measures. Onabotulinum toxin type A is also being tried. Verapamil, clonidine, actually their efficacy is still questionable, but also nimodipine, but they are still being tried. Okay, fluoxetine, they are still being prescribed by some physicians, but to be completely honest, the trials haven't shown a very good efficacy. However, like I said, the most important things these anti-CGRP monoclonal antibodies, and these are very efficacious for the prophylaxis, and they're very costly as well. So not many people can afford it. And Erunumab is acting against the CGRP receptor. Jalcanezumab, fremanezumab, and eptinezumab is active against the ligands, okay, the CGRP ligand. So eptinezumab is given intravenous, and the rest are all given by a subcutaneous route. And erunumab, jalcanezumab, and fremanezumab have all been approved as this is as of last year. Eptinezumab phase 3 trials have been completed, but FDA hasn't yet approved it. So that's the complete picture of migraine. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have split it into two modules. One is for the pathophysiology and one is for this therapy portion, and I hope you liked it both. Thank you.